When we started thinking about how steep some of our roads are, and then wondering how safe ATVs would be on them, we determined that we needed a way to measure exactly how much slope we were dealing with. And we tried a couple manual methods which worked, but then we ran across this from Haywood County. And this is a free service, and the URL will be on our website so that you're able to use this, the Haywood County website yourself. But let me show you how it works. Basically, you want to find an area. This area in here, of course, is all of Haywood County. Our subdivision is up here, so we're going to zoom in, and it just takes a moment. And here you see our community. And now, this is our subdivision. This is Hurricane Ridge. And this is coming up Blackberry, going through the switchbacks and into the community. Now let's enlarge this again. And take a look at some of the roads. And this piece of software is really amazing, and it's also really a lot of fun. Start out by going to the Manage Map Layers, and this is some things that you can check and uncheck. You can see the structures and the parcels. This one's important, the 5-foot contour lines, because this tells you, it actually gives you a topological map of our community. So we close that out, and we'll take a look at an aerial view. This is going to give us a satellite view of the subdivision. We want to zoom in a little further, and we'll click it again. And now we're, as you can see, we're kind of getting into the actual subdivision. This is Hurricane Trace coming up here. This is Ridgetop Circle, and the loop around Edtop, and then coming back down. And this, of course, is Sky Ridge to the right. Let's zoom in and take a look at some of these areas. Here's a stretch of road. You're actually looking again at the satellite here. This is a stretch of road coming down Hurricane Trace. This is Pump House. And so for those of you who know, this is a fairly steep bit of road here. And this piece of software is going to allow us to actually measure the percentage of slope. Let me show you how this works. First off, let's just pick an area. And we have a measurement tool, and we double click it here. Actually, I think it's a single click. And we just pick an area. This is Hurricane Trace. We're coming down. We're just going to take a small area here and double click it. Look what happened. It's measured this accurate, 283.827 feet. That's the distance we drew down this line, which is running down this road. If we move over to the right and switch this to terrain mode, we see a number of lines. Notice these lines running across. Those are called contour lines, and they're used on topological maps to give us an indication of elevation. Each one of these lines represents a change of 5 feet in elevation. So if we just count the lines in the area we measured, let's just do this together. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've counted 12 contour lines. Each one of those lines represents a change in elevation of 5 feet. If we multiply the 12 lines times 5 feet, it tells us that we have a 60-foot difference in vertical height between point A at the beginning and as we move down the road. Now there's an interesting formula, which of course will also be posted on the website, that allows us to calculate the percentage of slope once we know how many vertical feet of change we've had over what distance. And it works like this. In this instance, we found that we had a difference of 60 vertical feet. If we multiply that number times 100, we end up with 6,000. And if you take 6,000 and divide it by 283.8 feet, it tells us that the percent slope is 21. So the slope coming up Hurricane Trace, just below Pump House, is a 21.1% slope. Fairly steep, but it's not the steepest part of the subdivision. Let me show you another. Now we've just shifted the map over, and what you're seeing now on the lower right-hand corner is Hurricane Trace, and this is where it turns off to Ridgetop Circle. Now we're going up Ridgetop Circle right now, and if you just kind of follow the cursor, here we are heading up the road. This is the Edtop area right here at the very top of our community, and here's where we begin the descent down Ridgetop Circle Road. And this is an area right in here that gets pretty steep. Let's just kind of take a look at this. Let's zoom in a little bit. And the area, and I think many of you have driven this, so you realize how steep this is. But we had no idea what the actual slope was. So here's a way to measure it using switching over to the terrain mode and bringing out the electronic tape measure, if you will, and just picking an area from here, let's say this point down the road to here. Distance of 182 feet, and let's count the lines. Again, each contour line represents a change of 5 feet. So if we count them out, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 lines worth 5 feet each. That gives us 50. Doing the calculation and dividing 182 feet, which is the area we measured, that gives us a 27.4% slope. And that's pretty steep. What we're looking at here is the entryway into the subdivision. This is Hurricane Trace Road with the Ferguson Farm and the Nolan Farm on either side. And that road in there, before Blackberry, the average slope in there is somewhere between 10 and 15%. As you move further up the road, and this being Blackberry, roughly in here, Blackberry Lane in here, you start to see the blind switchbacks as we begin to climb up the mountain in here. This one in particular is interesting. As you make this blind turn here, the percentage of slope in here is about 21-22%. As you move further up Hurricane Trace, another relatively steep area is just below Pump House. This is Pump House Lane here. The stretch below Pump House averages probably 22 to 26%. And finally, as you curve up and encounter Sky Ridge, and you start, just as you turn up Sky Ridge at the junction of Sky Ridge and Barn Cove, that's about 22-23%. There are stretches in Sky Ridge that are also about 22 to 24%. On average, I'd say it might be 12 to 15. So, in closing, throughout the subdivision, I would estimate that the average percentage of slope is somewhere in the 10 to 15% range, with extremes at 27-28%. So it's an area that I believe you need to be cautious in. Now, on a lighter note, this is just a fabulous piece of software, and it's absolutely free. The URL, as I said, is on our website. Go there and look at your lot. Run the calculations yourself. It's really a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you for listening.